So now we are launching the Zulu social experiment now. And do you mind if you can just pull the camera up, down, so you catch my head a bit more? Yeah. Um, we're introducing the Zulu social experiment. The whole purpose of the Zulu social experiment is to re-establish heaven and earth, or the Bantu way of life. So how we're gonna do this? We're gonna do this in three steps. We want to conscientize people, Bantu consciousness. So we're not going to call it black consciousness. Yes, the people that call themselves Bantu are black, but Bantu means I mean people. So people of all races, all creeds, all can subscribe to Bantu consciousness. So it's not a racial thing.
It's not specifically
But we are just
a specific technique or whatever.
yeah, but we are really just pointing out that the way that the Bantu people lived was essentially heaven. So if we're gonna restore that, we need to get people to be aligned to Bantu, be aware at least of Bantu consciousness. So there's a book of Aaron, right? Call for Morpheus. So these are the books that are required that you'll find in the manual. So this will support anybody in terms of any of the content that's out there. They can refer to this as a written reference. So even when we are discussing and we maybe there's debates or discussions, this will be for me a primary reference, and for anyone that a primary reference for discussion or interaction. So I think it will be a responsibility for anyone that they say has differences or has a concern. The reason why we did this is also important is to make sure we don't fall into a trap where people put us into a box and label us what we're not. Everything that you need to know as an individual, as a founder, right? Everything you need to know about my intentions, about my perspective, will be found here. So that's fine. Then the next thing that we'll be doing as a daily exercise is educate on the principles of what heaven and earth could be, right? And we do this by marrying the two movements, the Nazareta movement, which was the request to say to the coming Nkosi Pavameni, please, these are the, this is what we need you to assist us with. And then the response is basically the Zulu social experiment declaring Umbuso Zulu. So this is the declaration of sovereignty that will be highlighted here. So all that, yeah, you got a question?
So you're marrying what Shembe has already started in 1910
Yeah.
to the response, but the intervention that
we are making now. Okay. So, but now the principle here will be we are educating people on the principles of what a heaven and earth looks like.
No, fine. But I get also when people ask about heaven and earth marriage, what are you talking about?
No, marriage in heaven, yeah. So it's just marrying the person that made the request to the person that's making
the intervention.
All right. Now we go on a little bit more. Let's see. Now like I said, there's a manual on Bantu consciousness, people being aware of how we think spirituality. Here, these are the practical principles of what would govern the heaven and earth. And here now, Umbuso Wezulu, which means heaven and earth, right? Now here we actually implement it. So we actually gonna implement commercial sports or regulator functions or platforms that would enable us to create that type of society.
To create heaven and earth.
Yes, to create heaven and earth. So what we've done now, the first thing that we've done, we've established the first participant, party number one, the founder. And very simple, the founder just has the right to amend policy and amend the manuals, right? And then the community policy, all the details are there, right? We have the communication policy. So what we're going to be doing, how this social experiment is going to start. It's going to start with a thought experiment. The thought experiment is basically where we're going to put this information out and we're going to see how the public responds, right? And actually measure the effectiveness of our communication. And then essentially our offering in terms of what the social experiment is offering the public is essentially restoring the five pillars of Bantu society, right? And what we're gonna create um, the cornerstone of the new economy is what we call Heaven's Wall
Wall
Street.
Street.
So there's a Wall Street, everybody knows that's where all the markets are, people trading, everybody. So we're gonna create a Heaven's Wall Street. So we're gonna have in the center of it the markets, but then we're gonna have outside around it, we're gonna have um, supporting functions that support activities, actual economy. So we are basically marrying the virtual economy to the real economy, right? And we're creating a real link there. And then the last thing, the custodian objectives. The first phase of the Zulu social experiment is essentially trying to achieve sustainable life. So there are five objectives of the custodian, but people will find it in the manuals. So I feel now it's important that we just sign the document. So all of these will be
Mm-hmm.
signed, and then we know that they're ready to be published for the public to see.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. No questions.
Thank you.